Hey everybody, Sharon Smith here. And today we're going to do some tapping for feelings of loss, maybe a little bit of regret, a little sadness, uh, maybe a little grief. But this is not over the death of someone. This is in response to a request, actually several requests that I've had. And you may have been experiencing this feeling of loss and sadness over a long period of time. And maybe it was over the loss of a relationship, maybe a divorce that happened or a breakup, the loss of a job. And we feel regret and sadness and loss for a lot of those things. So whatever it is that you have in your life that's triggering this feeling of loss, whether it's recent or whether it's from a long time ago, if it's still pulling at you, stick around and do some tapping. Let's clear that out. Now, before you can tap with me, I do need you to be sure that you've read and agreed to my disclaimer. You don't have to do anything except look. The link is, when you look below here, it says show more. Just click that. And I also want you to know that I have created something wonderful something wonderful for you. I have a free thing for you, a free gift that is something valuable. It's something you're going to want. And the link is down there also. I have a new Facebook group where I am working live a couple times a week. And the link is down there. Also, everything is in there. Just click show more. It's there. So pause me, have a look at the disclaimer. Welcome back. Let's tap for loss. And I want you to just start off here. Take a breath and blow it out. Relax your shoulders, just move around a little bit. Now, I want you to think about what you're feeling loss over. And just remember it. Think about it. It may be something that happened recently, or it may be from a long time ago. I want you to really tune into that. And it doesn't matter what it's over. I want you to just tune in. Now, let's give it a number, because I like to measure stuff, between 0 and 10, with 10 being overwhelming sadness and loss, and 0 being none. And if it's 0, you're not going to do this. Why are you here? So you'll be somewhere on that scale. Maybe most of you are probably going to be between a 5 and an 8. Right? But if you've got something higher than that, it's okay. And think about all the things around that loss that you experienced. And as I'm talking about this, it could even have been a financial loss where you made an investment or lost and it didn't go well. You lost a bunch on it, gambled on something and it didn't, and you lost it. There may have been consequences there. So just give it a number. And now let's tap. And it's easy. This is completely bilateral. You can tap either hand, either side, both, whatever feels best to you. There's no wrong way to do this. I tell people it's a little bit like playing the game Simon Says that kids play. All you really have to do is tap where I tap and repeat after me. I make it easy for you. So let's just start out here. I have a real sense of loss and sadness about this thing. Even after all this time, it still pulls at me. But I choose to be okay anyway. Even though I have a real sense of loss here, I've carried it around a long time. I completely love and accept myself. And I'm open to a new perspective on this now. top of the head. I have carried around this loss for years. And I feel sadness around it. I may feel some actual grief around it. And maybe some regret too. But it's all rolled up into this big package that's loss. I wonder if it's possible that I could begin to change the way I see this. Because I know that anything that makes me feel loss and sadness and regret is probably keeping me from feeling really good in my life. Those aren't fun things to feel. And since I'm still carrying them around over this particular thing, maybe it's time to let it go. There may be some good reasons for letting it go. Because I want to feel better. I allow myself to remember that I'm human. And since I'm human, from my human perspective, there's no real way for me to know why this thing happened. I let myself relax into knowing that it did happen for a reason, and that I'm probably never going to know what that was specifically. But even though this thing didn't look very good at the time and still doesn't feel very good to me, I'm going to allow myself to begin to appreciate that maybe this happened for my highest and greatest good. And maybe this sense of loss that I'm carrying around would look entirely different if I looked at this with new eyes. And now that I'm open to the possibility that maybe whatever this thing was that happened actually happened to move me forward in my life. It makes it easier to not feel quite so bad about it. It does make it feel easier to let go of it. And who knows, maybe I can even begin to feel grateful for this thing that moved me forward, even though it didn't look or feel very good at the time. And I'm here right now doing this work because this loss pushed me toward doing this to feel better. And I allowed this work to work for me. It's safe to begin to let go of this feeling of loss. It's safe to let go of the sadness around this. And it's safe to let go of any regret I have around it. And I may have held on to those things because there was a little part of me that felt like if I let go of the feeling of loss, I might experience this loss again in some other way or area of my life. And this part of me was protecting me by holding on to loss. And it did a really good job. But I'm open to letting it all go now because it's safe to let it go. Now that I'm looking at it clearly, I release all of this loss because I completely love and accept myself. We're tapping into the arm here, I forgot to tell you. Breathe and say peace. Okay, now everybody had a number before. I want you to, we're going to do just a little bit more. I want you to tune in really quickly and see if your number changed. For most of you, I'm going to say your number dropped. Some of you may have dropped a couple of points. Some of you may be at 0. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to say because we're human, we don't get to know why things happen. But it is helpful to hold on to that maybe things are happening for a reason and we don't get to know it, which makes it a little bit easier to accept. So I have some really favorite tapping that I do all the time with private clients. I want to do it with you now. So top of the head. I give myself permission to remember that while I am a human being, I am also something much more than that. I allow myself to remember that I am a powerful eternal being. For me, there is no such thing as death. And there isn't for anybody else either. And eternity is a really, really long time. It's so long I can't even actually imagine it because I'm human. But now that I remember and allow myself to feel that I am a powerful eternal being, I choose to act like it. And to know that it's safe to let go of this thing that was giving me sadness and loss and regret. I don't need it anymore because I deserve to feel my best. And I completely love and accept myself. And I'm grateful for everything that's taught me because I did learn from it. It wasn't always fun, but I choose to be grateful for the lesson because I do profoundly love and accept myself. Peace. Okay, that felt real good from here. Now, I want you to, if you still got other things you're feeling the loss about, go back and do this one again. Use it as often as you need. I made it for you. And I do have another quick thing I'd like to ask you to do. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe to me here on my channel. The reason I ask you to do that is kind of interesting. YouTube has an algorithm that causes them to show my work to more people, depending on how many subscribers I have. And that means that someone who needed the help that I'm providing might get it from one of my videos today because you took an extra couple of seconds and hit the subscribe button. I think that feels pretty good. It's a cool reason. So thank you for doing it for me and for all of us. And I look forward to seeing you again really soon.